Imagine a weathering product and a tool all wrapped up in one. Sounds pretty handy, doesn't it? And you'd be right. My review of Ammo by MIG's Oilbrushers coming up on JC's Riptrack. Hi there, my name is John and welcome to JC's Riptrack. If this is your first time here and you're looking for advice and tips on how to transform your plastic models into something that looks like it belongs on the rails today, click on subscribe and that little bell icon so you can be notified anytime there's a new video. So what is the latest addition to your tool chest that you now can't live without? Let me know in the comments section down below. I recently added 2 new products to my painting and weathering arsenal that are definite keepers. You may remember me doing a live test of Games Workshop's new contrast paints in a stream 2 weeks ago. But on that stream, I also quickly showed another product that I had also picked up. 2 sets of Oilbrushers from Ammo by MIG. I had been wanting to pick these up for some time. Almost 3 years ago, Ammo by MIG introduced this product for modelers as a different way of using oil-based paints for painting and weathering. I have to admit, I was a little hesitant to pick them up to begin with, as I have a good supply of oil paints, some of which I've had for a very long time, and they all still work. I really didn't need them, strictly speaking, but sometimes in this hobby, need has nothing to do with it. Part of the incentive is that I came across a couple packages of 3 at my local hobby shop that had recently started to carry them, and they were surprisingly inexpensive. So I picked up 2 packages, the light fading set and the Starship color set. I'll get into what those colors are in a moment, but Ammo by MIG puts out sets of 3 oil brushers together that are often geared for specific tasks, but they aren't limited to that. The Starship color set, for example, has black, white, and Starship filth, and you don't need a science fiction model to use those colors. And the light fading set has ochre, buff, and medium gray, all of which are great for both fading and creating dirt and dust effects. So at its core, an oil brush is a pre-made mixture of oil paint and thinner in colors that are well suited to weathering. And while that is pretty good, the ingenious part of the oil brusher is how it's packaged. The pre-mixed oil paint is put inside of what is essentially a bottle made for mascara. There is a brush attached to the lid and a narrow opening on the bottle with some bristles around it to catch excess paint. Instead of it being a large mascara brush, however, it comes with a narrow tip brush that is great for simply pulling out and applying directly to the model. The consistency is good, and the only thing that you might need to do is to dab or pull off excess paint on the bristles or even a paper towel. This feature is what sells it for me. You get the right amount of paint right out of the bottle without pulling out a palette or a palette knife and a rack of oil paints. Setup time for something like this is very quick. At best, you'll need some odorless mineral spirits or its equivalent as a thinner in your palette tray or a jar nearby. Everything else is self-contained. The only reason you might need an extra brush is to blend the paint in a later step. So far, I have tried these for the dot fade technique, dabbing out some paint that I would then dry brush on a model for highlights, and adding some realistic dust and wear to the underside of this passenger car. But these are just a few of the things that they can be used for. Given the consistencies of the paint, I can see that they can be easily used for panel line wash by applying the paint directly to the surface of the model with the brush and then coming back with mineral spirits to thin the oil into a wash on the surface of the model. You can also use them to do highlights and shades on a model as well, as the blending properties of oils really work in your favor. In essence, anything that you can use oil paints for in weathering, you can use the oil brushers for, just faster and with potentially some more consistent results. I like the colors I've used so far, although I have ordered but don't yet have a set of the rust colors, but that is my next purchase. As of this review, there are 40 colors which come individually in theme sets or in 2 full sets of 20 each. So here's a quick rundown on the pros and the cons of the Oilbrusher series. We're going to start with the pros. First, they're quick and easy to use. There is very little setup or cleanup time with the self-contained bottle and brush combo. They are much cleaner than standard oil tubes. For similar reasons as the previous point, you don't get the kind of oil buildup around the lids that can sometimes seal a tube shut or make it very messy. The pre-mixed colors are very suitable for weathering. Standard oil colors require some mixing to get the right shade of paint. The oils in this line are really intended for weathering models. They are also cost effective. One package of 3 ranges from $12 to $16 US, although some places are higher. Individual oil brushers are about $7 to $10 each. A single tube of specialized oil paint costs around $12 to $15. I found that the cost varies a little bit, but the links I've included down below have better prices. And now for the cons. The bottles are about half the size of most small tube oil paints, 10 milliliters as opposed to a 20 milliliter tube. Because the paint is also thinner, it also means it won't last as long. However, keep in mind that a tube of oil paint lasts for decades when it comes to weathering work. So when I say that the oil brushers may not last as long, you're still measuring their lifespan in years. Now the second strike is that they're harder to find. Not all hobby shops carry them, so you'll likely need to order them through Amazon, which I've included some of the affiliate links down below, or directly from Ammo by MIG. Now I do have some unanswered questions. For example, I've not tried the metallic colors yet, and while these may seem to have limited use for model railroading, they could be very effective for metal storage bins or polished bits on construction equipment. However, I've not had a chance to try them yet. So are the oil brushers worth checking out? Definitely. Am I going to be expanding my library of them? Already have. And quite often, weathering products have the reputation of being too expensive, and yet this is one example where the design is less expensive and cleaner than all of the component parts. Will it instantly transform your models? Well, no. No weathering product can do that. But it does make the process easier and cleaner, and it comes in all the colors that you will need for your projects. So check and see if your local hobby shop carries them, and if not, you can find links to Amazon down below or order them directly from Ammo by MIG. So if you want more tips on how to get the most out of your painting and weathering projects, don't forget to hit subscribe and that little bell icon so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Also, if you haven't already, check out the other videos on this channel as well as some of the social media links down below. And also, you may want a chance to see how one of your own models might look. Check out my Patreon page and you can get involved in the creative process for this channel. So thanks so much for watching, good luck, and may you keep on track.